Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kimmer and I'm here to try and help you understand chakras. The chakras are our energy systems in our body, and there's 7 of them. There's 12 chakras altogether, but 7 of them are physically on our bodies. And I'd like you to understand how important they are. As I explained in my last video, chakras, they're little wheels of energy, and they're at the point where your energy rivers connect. And your main river goes up your back of your spine, and then they can cross over. And there's 7 major crossovers in your body, and that's where your chakras are. And they regulate your endocrine system. They regulate all your organs. They are for your development. They definitely mind, body, and soul development. They are so important to us, and there's no knowledge out there. There's knowledge out there, you can seek it if you know to look for it, but they don't give it to you. So I'm going to try and give it to you, and we're going to start with a little more in depth than what I did in my last video. This video is going to be about ages. It's going to be about the chakras and the stages of development with our years, you know, how our age relates to each chakra and its maturity. So at birth, 1 to 7 is when our chakras start to develop. The root chakra is the first chakra, and that's the one located on the bottom of your pelvis, and that one develops for the first 7 years. So it's part of your security, it's your family, it's your basic survival, support, the connection to the world. And the first year, that's all you have, your basics. You know, you're a baby. You just know that that's mom, that's dad, and can you trust them? Feel safe, you know. You're not aware of too much at that point, but on the second year, you're still developing that root chakra, but you're also going into your sacral chakra, and that's developing feelings, preferences, likes and dislikes, bonding stages. You know, there's a sense of things around you. You realize who mom is, you realize who dad is, you're interacting, you're very curious, you know, the terrible twos, which I don't think 2s are terrible. I thought they were just interesting. And you feel more pleasure at 2. You know, at 1 you're just there, but at 2 you're interacting. You're telling people what you want, kind of, in a way. And that's your sacral developing. So then in the 3rd year, and that was the year I thought was a little more tricky, your root chakra, of course, is still developing, but you're also doing the solar plexus, and that's your stomach area, and that's courage. So with the solar plexus, they get more independent, the child does. Their self, I am, comes online, you know. They're worthy now, they're the me, my stage. It can be a little selfish, you know, mine. They relate to others better this way. At times it can be selfish, but they know what they want. This is mine and that's yours, and it's like developing a self. It's separating, because before that they thought they were part of mom and dad, and now they're their own little being, and they're becoming independent. And that's when it gets a little tricky at times, and you have to be vigilant with them. Okay, and then the 4th year, of course, it's still the root chakra, but then you're developing your heart. And there's more love, more compassion, more unity, acceptance, better connections with and around us. They're more sociable. They'll tell you what they want more. They're more animated even, you know, because everything's coming from the heart chakra. And they're open, and they'll tell you anything, no filter. Oh, I miss those days. My kids are late teenagers now. So then you go to your 5th year. of life. And it's the root chakra still, but it's also the throat. So their self-expressions are very vivid, and their communication is really growing, and the vocabulary is getting, they can express what they want because they can talk to you and put it into context, and they'll tell you their needs and their wants, and they express integrity and truth, and they become little people at age 5. They're so much fun to be with at age 5. I love that age. And then you get into age 6, and it's the eye chakra, or the third eye chakra, and it's critical thinking. They're becoming more logical. They're expanding their thinking processes, and their imagination is getting big, and they're creating from the mind. They can actually picture it in their mind, and that's third eye. When you can picture something in your mind, you can create it without having to have it on paper. That's the third eye. And they have the better understanding of others. They can think of what they want and what they want in a friend, and if they want this friend or if they don't want this friend. If this friend doesn't meet their expectations, they'll tell them. And that's the third eye. They hear and they see more deeply. They know more and more wisdom. And then the 7th year is the final year of the root chakra before it matures, and it's also the crown. So the first 7 years are very busy. That's when spirituality begins. That's when they know that there's a bigger world than just them and their family. They believe in something beyond self, and they're very curious about what things are going on and the world around them. And it's a beginning of imaginating more, I guess. So the first 7 years are very important in development for children. So if they are not given a safe environment and support and love, their development is very marred, and they become in fear and anxiety, and that's what we're seeing right now. That's what we're seeing, is parents aren't doing what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to give unconditional love. They're supposed to give unconditional support. They're supposed to be there. This is their job, not anything in the world. It's their children are their job, and they're not doing it. And so the kids that are in school right now are just, I've been in school volunteering, and their anxiety, they hit, they bite, they swear. I've heard kindergartners talk worse than I've ever spoken in my life. It's just, the chakras are underdeveloped and blocked because everybody's gone through so much trauma. And this is what we need to do, is learn about our chakras and heal ourselves. No one can heal you. There is no one on earth that can heal you. You have to heal yourself. Children, they'll need guidance if you can. But for us adults, we have to heal ourselves. So therefore, we have to understand what we are dealing with. And that's what these chakras are all about. If you understand them, you can heal yourself. And that's the goal here, is to try and teach you how to heal yourself. And let's get this world back to a world of love and kindness, because the narcissism is just horrendous because of all the traumas. So, back to chakras. The first 7 years we just discussed. Now we're going to go on. So every chakra, now we're doing another cycle of chakras. And the root is done. The first 7 years is the root chakra. Each chakra matures in 7 years. And it started with the root. So the root matured at 7 years. And now we're going to the sacral. The sacral is the passion, where your sexual organs are, and that one is 8 to 14, and it's the sexual energy, it's creativity. You feel and express emotions, your first crush, your period, your genital development. It's all your all that reproductive parts and learning that part of you. And that's the 8 through 14. And you remember those years? that corresponds, doesn't it? I remember being back in high school during that time and just getting my period and finding boys are very interesting when I didn't like them before. And it's a new look at life. And that's when your sacral opens up, and it opens up all your desires. That's what it does. Your desires and your pleasures, and it's a very I don't even know how to explain it. It's a very warm time of your life where you don't have as much fear and you have more pleasure. And then we go to age 15 to 21, and that's your solar plexus, and that's your sense of self. That's courage. You're building self-esteem. You find out who you are, and it can lead to selfishness because you can get too much of you, but you develop your hopes and dreams at that point, and you know what you want. You want what your purpose might be, or what you think your purpose might be, and you're discovering yourself. You're discovering yourself and all the things that you can accomplish and you can do. And that's age 15 to 21, and that's right on target, isn't it? You know, it's right before you start a life outside of your family. It's a life still with your family, but you're deciding who you are. And then we go to the heart chakra, and that develops at age 22, and it matures at age 28. Yeah, give or take, somewhere around there, depending. And the heart chakra is all about love for ourselves and others, and it's about commitment, and it's about appreciating other people. It's about opening up and taking people into your life outside of your family. And that's when you meet your life partners at age 22 to 28, sometimes, most of the time. Might be having children. You find a different love in those years. Your heart opens, because before you had friends, you had your parents, but now it's getting deeper and deeper, and it's growing, and it's exciting, and you've got life by the balls. And your dreams are there, and there's so much hope and so much love. And then you hit 29 to 35, and that's your throat chakra. And that's communication. You're really good at communication now. You can express yourself very well, and you're comfortable with who you are. Success. You're getting successful. You are, your life's purpose usually shows up around this time, or what it is at that time, because your life purpose can, change a lot. You can have a life purpose every decade or so. And I don't know, you just communicate very well, and you do well in life. And you form relationships that are better because both sides communicate better at this age. So, your bond is better with most. And it's a good time. And I guess that's it. So then we move on to 36 to 42. I have it written down over here just so I don't lose my train of thought this time. And that's the third eye. And the third eye is intuition and wisdom, that gut feeling, that synthesizing information. You're just going with it. You're flowing. You feel amazing. It's like everything's falling into place. That's only if your third eye is balanced and unblocked. If your third eye is blocked, you follow the belief system. You don't go on your own. You don't go with your gut feeling. You don't have as many opportunities. When your third eye is unblocked, your opportunities expand, because you go with your gut and you take chances and you feel things. So you just go and you just do it, and you're more courageous. But if your third eye is blocked and you're following the belief system, then you stay in a structured way. And so you stay in your job, and you stay in your home, and you stay in this, go watch TV, you go to church on Sundays, you don't do anything out of the ordinary. And it's just one routine after another. So I'm hoping your third eye isn't blocked, because life is so much more grand when it's not. And the last one is 43 to 49, and that's your crown chakra. That's the top of your head. That's your divine connection. That's your spirituality. At that point, you start your awakening consciousness. We've lived a somewhat unconscious life before that. There are spirituality, we do have some spirituality, but this is when it matures. This is when everything clicks into place. They call it sometimes a midlife crisis, because people will just all of a sudden decide that their life isn't what they wanted it to be. And that's because their higher self has been trying to tell them that this isn't your path. You need to get on your path. And people will all of a sudden just quit their job. And somebody by them will say, well, it's a midlife crisis. No, it's them trying to go on their life's purpose, their path. Their soul is telling them, their higher self, that it's time. You're mature now. You've had the chance to be married. You've had children. You've got your career. You've got, some stability. And now it's time. It's time. 50 is the age of maturity for all chakras. And you usually go into your spiritual awakening between 40 and 50. The ones with higher purpose, I've heard this. Now, I don't know, I can't tell you if it's true or not. I don't know. But the higher purpose people sometimes wait longer and need more lessons before that. So some of us go after the age of 50 and wait till our spirituality is completely mature and we've had enough lessons to move forward. But if you see somebody who's going through something, they're going through their awakening. That's what they're doing. And we're all going there. We're all going there eventually. Some are choosing not to go, and that's their choice. That's what free choice is about. It's about choosing if you're going to go through this painful process of awakening or not. If they're scared and they want to stay comfortable, they're going to stay where they're at until they can't, because something will happen. That's what karma kind of is. Karma is, they give you a chance, your higher self. It gives you a chance until there's no more chances. And then there's got to be a big upset in order to get you to move off that couch. And that's what's happening in the world right now. We're having quite a bit of chaos, and everybody's going to feel some pain. The ones that chose to be comfortable are not going to be comfortable much longer. That's going to end, and then they're going to start hurting, and then they're going to have to go down the path that was meant for them to go down. This is it. We're all going. It's time to clean up the mess, and it's pretty messy. And this is going to be a big job, and that's why I'm here. I just want to help you get there. I just want to give you as much insight as I've gotten through this. I've had lots of guidance, and I've done a lot of research, and I've read a lot of books, and I've read a lot of articles, and all kinds of things. And I didn't have too much help because I did it 10 years. I started 10 years ago, so there wasn't much help back then. But now there's a lot of help. There's a lot of things out there, and I want to show you this book. This book right here, I love this book. This book is great. It gives you a little bit of everything to understand chakras better, and I always like to have books. Internet's great. It is, and it's good for an instant gratification and a quick this and quick that, but books, you can hold them. They're there. If you need them, you can turn to them. And as you can see, mine has a lot of bookmarks because there's pages in there that I want to refer to easily, because they're very important to me. And I think that's the best way to go is books. Go back to the simpler ways. That's what we're here for. We're here to be happy, simple, have humility, respect. You know, that's what joy is. It isn't money, it isn't fame, it isn't power. It's just living a great life simply. And we're going to get there. We are. Okay, well, this video is long enough, so thank you very much, and I hope to see you next time, and peace.